Alright everyone, and welcome back to another video of the F123 Driver Remote with Haas, episode number 13 today for the Qatar Grand Prix of Season 1. If you missed the previous episode at Japan, I recommend you go and check that one out before seeing this one, because spoiler alert, we didn't actually manage to finish that race. The gearbox decided it didn't want to continue anymore, and we retired, which is a shame because I was interested to see how the strategy would have worked out. R&D wise, just having a flick through and see what we can do. Major ERS, that would be very helpful for Brazil. We've also got drag reduction available, but it's only a minor drag reduction. As well, we've got major DRSs available as well for Brazil. So we're going to pick that one instead. However, we have learnt that there's substantial rumours going about that we're having an R&D reset. On one or more of the departments. We'll have to wait and see if it's the next race, even if it's always usually the next race after that episode that we get, and we get told which department it is. But we are back on top though, coming into Qatar as the fastest team on paper, but we've not really the fastest team out on track because our car hasn't won a race. It's not been on the podium at all so far throughout this season, and I don't think we're going to be on the podium here in Qatar because I think the setup is wrong. But we're down here in 16th and 17th, ladies and gentlemen, for Haas in the fastest car. So I know my teammate is struggling as well, but you know, this is a brand new circuit for me. I don't actually know where I'm going on this circuit as well. You know, this is what, my 5th lap. I did a few laps in practice, and obviously 3 laps in qualifying. Yeah, it is a peculiar track. I'm going to admit now, before we get started, I got the wrong setup for this track. I've got a high downforce setup. That was the setup that somebody had put on, one of the esports drivers had used for their time trial time on day 1 of the game coming out. This track is you don't need that much downforce for it as well. So just to let you know, we will be difficult in a straight line compared to the AI through the races. I also, that corner there, I just can't. I always lose time to the AI. I don't know. As well. Already finishing the lap through this final corner. Be fair, there's only one corner where the rear end steps out. We have improved massively though. 21.8. So you know, to get a little bit more used to the track. That allowed me to get P10 right behind our teammate in P9. Leclerc has a penalty for the main race. Which of course we've got a sprint race as well, so that will be, well, it will give us a bit more experience of Qatar there as well. Verstappen down the order as well, not that he needs it. Norris and Alonso, our 2 main rivals in this series though, are ahead of us, so that's a little bit annoying, but hopefully we can get them in the sprint so we have a good starting position for the race.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Russell, Verstappen, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Phoenix, Gasly, Bottas, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Stroll, Joe, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out.
So we are down the grid. Now I've heard that Qatar isn't that friendly on tyres. and it's a 10-lap sprint, and we're going to be on medium, so we'll see what we can do with that. Alonso's on Sossos, we'll see if he runs out of tyres. Front lights for us, and away we go, and a bit of a hold there. It's not actually the best to start. We've actually jumped by Gasly off the line. Yeah, not the best start in the world, but nevertheless we'll try and carry on. Trying to have a look around the outside of Gasly. Alonso's been caught up in the wake of that, and we almost had a look at Alonso, but I had to brake also not to go on his rear end, and we are able to carry on as well as Bottas now as we move on to lap 1 to lap 2. He's going past Gasly. They're going side by side through this middle sector. There's not too much overtaking, like it's all forced by this DRS zone. And then obviously it just carries on. As you can see, Magnussen now is having a huge battle against Alonso. Magnussen's back past Fernando, but obviously those two will be squabbling as well. As we're looking behind us, that is Esteban Ocon, and well, Esteban Ocon is at the race. He's at the sprint. So you know, Alpine having their troubles in real life are struggling as well. Alonso and Magnussen keep going. That's allowing us to be able to catch up to them. And here we are. Can we get past Alonso here? Yes, we can. Up to P9. That's more like it now. Next up will be our teammate. I don't know if Alonso's tyres are starting to go up. We've already jumped to lap 6 already. As well as we've looking up ahead. We've got the two Ferraris. Looks like they're ahead. Although Sainz has gone deep. Unfortunately comes out against just ahead of his old teammate Lando Norris, who's having a good time of it as well. He's highly up there. Excuse me. We have a look around the outside of our teammate, and we just about got it. Yeah, DRS not making these moves on the straight, making them in the corners afterwards with DRS, as well as Norris is now starting to move down the order now. After his good good start, good qualifying, and now cars not delivering for him, and then Verstappen has gone past as well. But yeah, I can see what you mean about tyre wear. I mean, the Haas has the second worst tyre wear on the grid after the Ferrari. We're at 40% at only 10 laps, which is a little bit worrying, to be honest. But nevertheless, we'll just kind of carry on. We have come to the final corner. Magnussen has a look around the outside, but we're just going to shut him off, and that allows Alonso to be the ever opportunist and dive up the inside. They're going to close in with DRS up to the finish line, which is an awkward halfway down the straight as well. We come through for P8, which will be 1 point crucially over Alonso, but we lose points to Norris, which is unfortunate there. But yeah, considering the pace we have, the pace on paper we have, we should be doing a lot better than P8 and P10. Yeah, Verstappen gaining. Hamilton had a poor start, I think, which is why he's P7 as well. Ocon, well, he started down in P15 anyway. He'll be starting now last if that he can get a new engine in the back. So we'll see what we can do from 8th place on the grid. It's time for the race.
Welcome to Qatar, and yes, it is raining in the middle of the desert. It's going to be a thriller at the Qatar Grand Prix. 3.3 miles, 16 turns with a single DRS zone at the exit of turn 16. It is a fast and flowing track with plenty of overtaking expected through the DRS zone down into turn 1. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton, Phoenix, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Stroll, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Albon, Joe, Tsunoda, Sargent, De Vries, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Joined once again by Anthony Davidson for this one. And there's a lot of incidents on track recently for this driver. No one does that on purpose. It is part and parcel of racing, though.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
So we are down on the grid. Yeah, race strategy. I toggled personalised / projected, and it gave me this strategy: 13 laps on medium, 16 laps on hard. I think obviously the default is soft medium. We will try that out. If the tyre wear is lighter, then we'll go medium soft. But we'll have to wait about that. 5 lights, and away we go. And it's a much better start. It's a terrible start for Norris there on the left hand side. Not sure what happened to him. We have capitalised on him. Can we get have a look at the Mercedes or Ferrari? No, we're just going to stick behind. Remember our little clause as a Ferrari Junior, not holding them up. As well as Lando Norris, a poor start there. Just didn't get going really in the McLaren, and has lost a couple of positions already off the start. He is going to be overtaken now by Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo, and Bottas is going through. He is on the soft tyre, but Bottas, the Alfa Romeo, hasn't been anywhere near the points. They've only had a handful of points so far in this career mode, as the 2 Mercedes up ahead are having a massive squabble through the middle sector, side by side, literally through every corner. Obviously that's hindering Leclerc as well, but it's allowing me to stay behind, because already on lap 4 our tyres they're not the best, to be honest. You know, I'm kind of thinking of a 2-stop potentially, but we'll have to wait and see what tyres we've got available later in the race. We had a look at Leclerc just to let him know that we're here. You know, obviously he needs to get a move on, get past those Mercs, because they are battling and squabbling all over the place. Bottas did have a go at us, but nothing doing there. And now Bottas has been compromised without DRS. DRS is so OP on this track and on this game that Lando Norris, with the double slipstream, the double DRS, is able to get past. And there Leclerc on the inside, they're 3 wide with the 2 Mercedes. But I think Leclerc's been squeezed out. What about Hamilton? I think Hamilton, sorry, it's Russell ahead of Hamilton in the lead Mercedes on the medium tyre compared to Hamilton. We are now being hounded by Lando Norris. It's lap 9. As I say, regretting this, well, the setup. I'm also slightly regretting the tyre strategies. We're going to do this strategy of let him in past. It's that bad. Then just watch this. You know, this is the setup for you, as something's happened to Alonso behind. We'll get a look at that in a moment. But, you know, we're just overtaking him at the end of the inside the end of the straight. So lower downforce here, I think, is a lot better. But Fernando Alonso, this is fantastic news for us. He is out of the race, so there's chance of some big points to be gained on the man who's directly ahead of us in the Drivers' World Championship as well. So now we've got Lando. We might try and gang up on him. But looking at the tyres here, I wanted to select a new set of mediums. We don't have a new set of mediums available. It's either hards or softs, which is very frustrating. Our tyres are already at 45% on lap, as we go on to lap 12. Again, Norris comes here. Not always going to let him pass with DRS. I think I've got the advantage, but I take the racing line at turn 1. That seems to be the way to defend if you have enough battery and enough straight line speed. This time though, on lap 13, he does go past with DRS as well, but now we're coming into the middle sector. Can we have a look past? No, we can't, and Norris might have gone past us here. That is frustrating if it has, but yeah, we are coming into the pits then. Norris continues on. Surely he's got his tyres are worn out now, as we it's a bit confusing where the line is. I initially thought it was where that F1 experience strip thingy, but it isn't. It's actually a little bit when that ends. So just a reminder, if you're not raced Qatar yet, that's where it is. 2.3 second stop, not bad. Onto the hards as well. De Vries is holding everyone up again. There is our teammates who have been jumped by K-Mag, we've been jumped by Bottas, and we are going to come out in front as Lance Stroll. That's not gone to plan at all, because we were supposed to be out comfortably in front of K-Mag, and it's clear that's not happened. But clearly frustrating his compatriot Nick De Vries, the man who won't be racing at this track in real life, is holding up his compatriot Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton as well. As we're going to now try and make a move with DRS. Oh, you know, look at Bottas is moving up. We've got DRS from that. You know, he was actually accelerating us at top speed. So that's just the setup. I apologise about that. But Stroll behind us is being attacked now by Lando Norris. Norris came up behind us because everyone did the undercut strategy, which obviously helps them, but obviously tyre wear. Leclerc has undercut everyone and is in P2, but I think his tyres will go off at some point, which will give advantage to the Sainz. Maybe Russell behind as well. Those on hards, medium tyres will probably go off. Whether they'll have to make another pit stop is yet to be seen. Lap 17, we're back with Lando Norris again. You know, Magnussen's 2.8 up the road. He undercut us by what, 2 laps? On fresh hards against warm mediums, there's just no comparison, which makes me think perhaps we should have done the 2-stop from the start, but obviously having the tyres available to do that, I wanted to do the 2-stop on lap 11 and not having to do that, but maybe that's, I'm just thinking about that for future seasons. Around here, potentially other tracks, to potentially have a look at doing a 2-stop as well. We have been overtaken though by Norris. Lap 21 now. We're having a look through this triple right-hander down the inside, and that's an unorthodox place to make a move, but we have indeed made the move. I suspect with the higher downforce we're running, just like McLaren did in the Belgian Grand Prix yesterday, able to make moves through the middle sector where the high downforce is required. But of course, Lando instantly go past us again. We're going to get DRS. We've saved a bit of ERS, but not a lot, so that ERS upgrade will be very helpful when it arrives on the car. And look at that, he's just accelerating away as our ERS runs out. Stroll's moving in as well. We are just about able to make it down the inside and retain P8. Now Stroll's gone past Norris. He's the one that we're going to get DRS from. And we've had he's not had a very good final corner though. We're able to blast past a lot easier. But then look, he comes back at us. Yeah, as I say, I think it's a setup. I'm hoping by the time that this race comes, I'm going to give this track another go in Season 2. I'm hoping that the setups will be more available from the esports drivers, because obviously they've wiped all the setups in the latest patch 1.08, which is an issue, which is why I can redo the setup. As yeah, up at the front, that's Perez, who's had a Spinala. So the curse of Spinala continues, and that's Sainz taking the race lead. Through goes Leclerc, and then I think that's Russell as well. Was the mediums too worn, perhaps? Should he have made a second stop? I don't know. We'll have to, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But Perez drops to P7 there. He is going to come out in front of us as Norris tries to be cheeky and overtake us under yellow flags. Absolutely not having any of that whatsoever, because the game would have let him through. Lap 28, we've again let him through to get DRS, and our tyres 61% now. So, you know, even though we put tyre wear upgrades after tyre wear upgrades on the car, 2-stop probably should have been better today, be more aggressive. Maybe we need to do that a bit more in Season 2, potentially at places where there's a bit higher tyre wear. As Stroll gets Norris, we're going to come across the line to P8, which isn't quite what, you know, considering the fact we started in P8, our teammate finished up in P6. I would have liked to have been ahead of him. Sadly, that's not happened today. Yeah. QATAR, what my first thoughts of it? It's got one DRS zone, personally, so it's not my favourite track. Whether it's, as I said, I'm going to give it another chance with a new setup. I just want to see if it's actually more raceable and more to my liking. If it isn't, then we'll remove it and replace it with something else for season 3. As Yuki Tsunoda has that DNF glitch where he finishes last and manages to he flies around at a 1:11. But there is some good news to come out of this. We have closed the gap slightly to Fernando Alonso to 16 points. Kevin has jumped Lando as well because he finished behind us, and we have moved ahead of Aston Martin because Stroll only picked up P9 as well. So for us, it's not it could have been worse. It could have been a whole lot better, but it could have been a whole lot worse as well. We've got 3 races remaining. Brazil will be out later in the week. I know, back-to-back sprint races, recording those. Almost killed me, but I have survived. And then it'll be about finishing off with Las Vegas, which will be, I have done a race around there. Going to be interesting, and then finishing off in the United Arab Emirates. So that's where I'm going to leave it today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more F123 drive camera videos as when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.